Okay, I'm Andy Lee Graham, and I've lived in 114 countries. And I've been doing this nonstop for 26 years. I'm homeless. I don't have a place that I rent by the year. I sometimes rent by the month, but I often sit around and I try to muse why can I stay happy as a traveler? Okay, most people, when they travel, okay, they think of a trip and they're very excited, but when they go on a trip, they really come home quite angry. They want it to stop, okay? And they don't want to admit it because they spent a lot of money, but most of the time they don't really want to go on a trip because it's continuous confusion for them for the whole time they're there. Okay, but what I'm going to talk about today is what I think I've had an inspiration to believe that the problem is that there's people that are too organized to travel. Okay, there's a natural idea that one day we're going to have our whole world organized. And if you go into a lot of houses, you'll see that everything has a place and everything's in its place, and they constantly strive for it. It's like a daily torture, actually. Okay, I'm in my room right now. I was going to make this video in the Parque Central. I'm here in Colombia in a paradise location, but I'm not going to tell anybody where I live because I don't want you to come and destroy it. Why do they destroy it? Well, they come and they try to get organized. Okay, let me show you the room a little bit. But organization, what I'm saying is you're too organized to travel. People are too organized to travel. So, see if I can keep this light out of here. Here's my bed. There's my two computers. Here's my carrots are sitting on the bed. I have my dirty underwear and clothing over there. I do have this real special thing that I discovered that these little things you can put in the corner of your mattress so that the corner of your sheets so that you can hook them together so it's faster to make the bed. This is me trying to make a double layer of curtains on here. I do consider these the most important gear you could possibly have. You can buy them at Dollar Tree. There's a window right here. I set this thing up so I can blow out. Here's another organizational thing I use for all my shower stuff. And you can see this is very, very cluttered looking to the average person. Now I actually carry this thing just to stay organized. I started carrying a drill, a cordless drill where I can hang things on walls. So I put that hanger inside there so I could add a layer of organization. Now, what do I mean when I say you're too organized to travel? Okay, now a lot of people want me to make a lot of edits and they want to do the videos just like everybody else where there's 50 different edits and everything's perfect and it's not real. Okay, this is not a real life. Real life is clutter, but it's an amorphic. I learned this word from amorphic is from Michael Crichton, the book, I forget which book it was, maybe it was State of Fear. But the word, to me, is one of the most intellectual words there is, amorphic. Amorphic means no clear and steady pattern. Okay, now, people that want to be too organized, what do? They want to have everything have a place and a place for everything. Well, every single room that I go into is a different setup. You have to adapt. And so this drives people crazy, okay? Because what they want is they don't want an amorphic life. They want everything to have a place and everything in its place. And so a lot of people, when the minute they move into the room, they spend hours organizing. And instead of enjoying the day, they spend their whole time organizing their room. A lot of people never leave their hotel room because it's too much chaos. Why? because what they want is this is cultural fatigue. Fatigue is when you go outside. Cultural fatigue is from a guy, I don't know, I actually talked to him on the phone. He talked about it in Thailand. No, not in Thailand, the Philippines. He was in the Peace Corps. What cultural fatigue is when what you expect doesn't happen and you have to think about it. You're like standing in line and somebody cuts the line. Okay, you go into the store and you want to pay, and you want to pay with your credit card, but you can't pay with your credit card. These are things that cause people a lot of cultural fatigue. And you see people do it. They don't adapt to the culture they're in. They use a credit card in the United States, therefore they use a credit card abroad. And they finally realize that they're pretty silly because it's kind of dangerous, okay? It's really silly to use your, especially your debit card. Your ATM, your credit card's maybe a little safer. But using your credit card all the time is a silly way to live. But this constant changing of the rules is the desire, is cultural fatigue, okay? Because the rules change all the time. But why are they fatigued? They have fatigue because they don't give themselves grace. Okay, grace is the fact that everything's screwed up, but that's okay. Grace, in a way, is I'm guilty. Yes, my life's disorganized, but that's okay. Most people will not show you their dirty laundry. That's my dirty laundry over there. That's my corner where I throw it. Actually, I have what I call the box theory. Actually, everything in this room is in a box. There's certain things, clothing, like my underwear and socks are in this box. My drills in this box. All my miscellaneous stuff is on the floor over here. All my clothes. So actually, it's extremely organized in a very disorganized way. But I have areas where I store stuff. And then I have this absolutely monotonous, see all those wires? Oh, they drive me crazy, okay? I'm always constantly trying to come up with a better way. I do have various ways to manage the wires, but a person that was too organized would sit there and put wire ties or something around them and spend all their time doing that, and then they would miss the place where they're at because they would not have prioritization. See, prioritization is that you have habits of things that you enjoy doing every day, okay? And that you have to get it to the point where you're doing all the things that you do enjoy doing. I often say the secret to happiness is to do more things in a day that make you happy than make you sad. Okay, now most people, they spend their whole time on organizational things, being a maintenance person, cleaning, and they really don't savor the place where they're at. Me, I spend most of my time walking around. I get up every day. I go for a coffee. I do organize things when I get a chance, and the longer I'm in this room, the more organized it'll become because I'll slowly discover the best place in this room for the place. That's why I don't like to have more than one room because it's double the organizational stuff. I really like small rooms because it makes me have less work to do. But amorphic means the idea that it's no recognizable pattern. Okay, the stars. There's no real clear recognizable pattern to the stars. But when you walk in a room, there's no recognizable pattern. Don't get me wrong, if you live in a Sheraton, a Hilton, or whatever, you're going to have 2 beds in the room, a TV in between the thing. You're going to have bathroom, you're going to have towels above the toilet. And they need this. These executives need this because that makes them feel comfortable. They need absolutely monotonous thing. If I had a bunch of executives and I was paying them $200,000 a year, I'd say stay every single time in a Sheraton, stay every single time in a Hilton. They got to live in a cleaner place than they do at home. Okay, they need this organizational so they don't have cultural fatigue. But the reason why people can't travel, and they really are very grateful to go home, is because they spend their whole time thinking about being organized. You got to have the grace, but you have to have the grace to say, I'm not perfect. And people don't do that. That's not what they do. Their self-talk is, I did this wrong, I did this wrong. I don't have that problem. It's very unusual for me to say something negative about myself. Okay, I feel I'm extremely organized, mainly because I have compartments. I have all my rooms separated in compartments. There's two computers over there. There's the cords down there, the dirty underwear over there, my clothes hanging up over here. So each one of these is a compartment, even though at first glance it's not the organization that you want. It is extremely organized because I have everything into a specific area. I call it the box theory. Okay, but you have your self-esteem tied to how organized you are. So a lot of people keep their truck, like their car, in super organized, and a lot of people. But to me, a lot of times, like anybody that has a desk, say they have an office and it's too organized, I believe they're not working very much. They really are spending all their time thinking about being organized and not about getting the work done. Okay, don't get me wrong. My boss John Roussel used to say, with every amount of construction, there's a certain amount of destruction. It's 2 steps forward, 1 step back. So what you got to do is accept that there's a certain amount of destruction in doing construction. When you construct a world, it starts out disorganized, amorphic. I'll spell the word amorphic, amorphic. This is to me the essence of the world. When we accept that there's chaos everywhere, that's when we understand perfection. Perfection is not organization. But there are too many variables to control, and that drives people crazy. They cannot move every 3 days, every 5 days without going. I know people that have done that, and they're control freaks, and they spend their whole life spending. They're never going to make any video that would show their real life. They're not an authentic person. They're basically a person pretending to be something they're not. Okay, I want to share with you who I am. I'm living in a $6 room in the country of Colombia, and I'm not going to tell you where it's at because I really want you to stay home and stay happy and work on your house and work on your car and go to your job every day and be a wage slave, because that's the life that you deserve, and that's the life that kindergarten taught you. Stand in line, get it. I always see it at the airport. All of a sudden, it doesn't matter what level of economic scale they are, when they start to board the plane, everybody jumps up and gets in line. They can't be a free thinker and say, wait a minute, I got a reserve ticket. I can get on anytime I want. The last thing I'd want to be is first class and have them put me on the plane first, then have everybody walk by and hit me with their baggage. Just doesn't make any sense. There's too many variables to travel, so it's all about adaptation. But a person that can control their mind and stay on the priorities and strategic. Now, I've learned that only 5 to 7% of people can actually understand a strategy. I have a very good strategy. That's what keeps me comfortable. On the other side is, can I teach these strategies? I don't think so. Either some people just are naturals and they can learn them, others cannot. But when you go on a vacation and you come home exhausted, it's because you have cultural fatigue, cultural shock. Too many things were different. You need your routines. I have a very hardcore routine every day. I get up, I go make a cup of coffee, I go take a crap, I check my email, I go read, I go take a shower, and then I'm always adding and adapting that strategy. I'm going to write a book, I think, called about the protocols of life, because there's certain ways, certain routines, but how do I explain that these things have to be flexible? How do I explain that you have to have grace? You want grace from God. You know you're guilty and you want forgiven without punishment. And you don't want your wife to punish you when you do something wrong, but the truth is you're punishing yourself. And how do you have grace for yourself so that if you screw up, you just go, hey, that's life. And that's what it is. Life is just one disorganized chaos after another. And then we slowly evolve and we become more organized. I'm extremely organized, but it doesn't appear that way, right? Why? Because you're used to this idea of organization. Is the bed's made, the sheet's made. That's why you need a cleaning lady. You need a cleaning lady to come in to organize you because you're not really capable of dealing mentally with the disorganization of the room. And 5-star hotels, I won't let a cleaning lady come in any time at all. Okay, I do help them change the sheets sometimes, but I very seldom let them in because what they do is they move things in places where I can't find them. I'm zen in the art of motorcycle maintenance. I have like a photographic memory on where things are located in the room. I do understand that some of you don't have that memory and you do have to have a place for it. And that's why you have certain types of bags. Like I had a backpack organizer where you can hang things. I got this little bag up here where it's for the shower stuff. And I got different ways of doing it. I could have 6 different bags or whatever. A lot of people that are very organized, I really don't understand. There's these vacuum things that take the clothes and suck it. That's just stupid. Okay, that takes a lot of time to do that, unless you're going to be traveling. I don't know. I don't do anything that I cannot buy anywhere and everywhere. Most of my gear is anywhere and everywhere gear. And if I do have, like I have 2 of these, I have 2 of my lip exercises. I have 2 of things that I'm worried about losing. I have like 5 bamboo. I have some special toothbrushes that are natural. I have like 6 of those. I bought the hangers. I have different things that I duplicate, but it's because I have like 18 pens. I have 15 pairs of underwear, 10 pairs of socks. Why? Because I want to be able to throw them away and still have net out the amount of stuff. But these strategies are often beyond the power of a well man. Why? Because a well man thinks that he or she should be organized. You're too organized to travel. That's all there is to it. You have to go home because you're exhausted. Just accept that some of you need to stay home. But some of you could, if you had maybe a coach, learn how to let go, okay? But any great entrepreneur starts doing the one decision thing. They start understanding that the less things they have to think about, the easier their life is. Okay, I know you're too organized and you're exhausted when you go on a trip and you get to go home and talk about that trip for the next lifetime. And really, it wasn't very much fun anyway. But you get to brag about it. Travel is a 2-week millionaire where you get to go home and brag about it. That's why people want to live in 5-star hotels. They want to be a millionaire for 2 weeks. And they don't want to have a life of a millionaire. They can't be a millionaire that travels the world endlessly because they emotionally can't handle it. Even the millionaires can't handle that. Okay, I'm here and you're not. Why not? I'm Andy Lee Graham. I've been in 114 countries. And I'm going to go home to get a surgical operation. Then I'm going to go to Israel, where chaos. And to live, you have to strive to be alive. To live, you have to strive to make yourself alive.